Welcome to World War II in the Eyes of the Beholder. I'm Matthias. Today we'll be talking about Dunkirk, the evacuation of Dunkirk. So let's get in. The evacuation of Dunkirk was a mission lasting from May 6th to June 4th, 1940, before the Blitz and the Battle of Britain. The evacuation was a mission to save thousands of British, French, and Poles that had been pushed back to the edge of the French coast, closest to Britain, a few hundred miles from Normandy and Calais. Which Normandy would be invaded in 1944, and Calais was the deception of Normandy. You can check out. I'll have a link of my Forgotten Invasions of World War II that I talk about, Operation Fortitude, that is related to Calais. The door to evacuating thousands of troops in Calais had closed. On the 23rd of May, the German 1st Panzer Division had encircled them and took the port. 300 were killed, 200 wounded, and 3,500 captured, with only 800 German casualties. The Germans were in no state to attack. Dunkirk thought, due to the lack, and they couldn't attack Dunkirk due to the lack of reinforcements and being stretched too thin. Plus, Hitler was kind of anxious about moving forward. He felt that there could be other stuff that he uses men in, and hey, he thought there was no way to get all those men back. This let over 338,226 Allied troops get away. So the troops did get away. Germany didn't think that the troops could get away, but they did. But even though they did get away, there were some downsides to this. There were still 68,000 captured, killed, wounded, or left, along with 2,500 guns, 20,000 motorcycles, 6,500 other vehicles, cars, jeeps, trucks, whatever, 75 tons of ammunition, and 165,000 tons of fuel, and 20,000 motorcycles. So losing this much equipment left thousands of men useless, and the Germans with a lot of useful war supplies. Though it was a big boost to the British morale and a British win, but some things went very wrong. So they did get all these men home, and it was a big boost to German morale, to British morale, and a British victory. The Germans had a lot of vital and very expensive war supplies that Britain would have to make up or build, which actually America was supporting a lot of Britain's war supplies in this time because they're not active in the war, but they're leaning more toward the Allies' side. They are still neutral, though, at this point, until 1941, when Japan taxed Pearl Harbor. Though some things went wrong. The battleships picking the troops up, because they don't have troop transports. They're all everywhere else. Britain's everywhere at this point. So the battleships picking up the troops could not get to shore because they were in range of planes and were too big, making them very vulnerable to air attack. The troops did construct makeshift Mulberry harbors, big docks, These were easy targets to the German Air Force and were easily destroyed. And with a lot of men on them crowding to get on a boat, lots were killed. One thing that did help was when thousands and thousands of pleasure yachts and boats owned by civilians teamed up to get their boys back home. Once they got home, something awaited them: the Blitz and the Battle of Britain. So this evacuation did help a lot and got a lot of troops home, though they did lose a lot of vital war supplies, and a lot of them were useless in Britain. And especially when the Battle of Britain comes in, which I'll be talking about in the next episode, they're not doing so well. So they did get a lot of people home, but one thing is there's a lot of French there too, and they actually did leave the 50th French division there, a lot of it, because Britain wants to get its boys home. They don't really care about the French at this point. They just want to get their own home. So they did evacuate some Poles and British, which would help in the Battle of Britain as pilots and other stuff, but it was mostly British troops. So the Navy put out this call to Britain back home to, hey, we need boats. So a lot of civilians pitched in with thousands and thousands of boats coming over the horizon, and they'd either get the soldiers into the big battleships from the shore, like a rowboat basically, or they would go all the way back to England with several loads. And this took multiple weeks. It was not just one day. They were evacuating for multiple weeks. Mostly the battleships were doing it for weeks, but the pleasure yachts did do it for a while. So this was a great British victory, but it did have downsides. And I'll be talking about the Blitz. So the Blitz was a big German morale booster. So the Blitz, or blitzkrieging strategy, or a lightning war, was Germany's great, and it worked very well, war strategy to take these countries, as Poland, France, Russia, all these countries very quickly. The basic strategy is using tanks and men and your planes and going all in as fast as possible. They won't even know what's hitting them. So this was a British victory and a big morale booster, but it brought down the Allies a lot. They were at rock bottom at this point, because all their friends are getting taken, they're getting bombed every day and every night, and a lot of them are useless. So just a brief sum up of Dunkirk and the Blitz. I will have some pictures of Dunkirk for you here. My next episode will be about the Battle of Britain, so stay tuned. Please subscribe, ring the notification bell, and like this video. If you have any suggestions of how I can improve, or any ideas that you have for me to make more videos, please comment below about what I can improve in. And comment below about what you think about Dunkirk and how they could have improved, or how they could have done it better. Thank you for watching. I will have some photos of Dunkirk I will have photos of Dunkirk, so stay tuned.